Hey, I'm Prophet. I'm one of the people working on the Meta-DAO, and a few people have asked me how the Meta-DAO works, and so I thought I would give a video overview of that. So, in a nutshell, the Meta-DAO uses markets to make decisions where most organizations don't. Most organizations use humans to make decisions, like governments use presidents and parliaments, so like individuals and committees to make decisions, and corporations use boards of directors and CEOs, so again, individuals and committees. And if you look at pretty much all institutions today, they make decisions like with individuals, with humans. And the MetaDAO doesn't. It uses markets, which is an idea that was invented by Robin Hanson, but has not been put into practice yet. And so I think the easiest way to explain the idea is with an example that he likes to use, uh, which is a corporation deciding whether or not to fire the CEO. So this person here pictured is Gina Rometty, who happened to be the CEO of IBM, and was considered by investors as probably one of the worst CEOs of her time. She presided over 24 quarters of consecutive revenue decline. And so it would be good for IBM if she was gone. But she kept her job because the board of directors kept her there. She was maybe able to convince them, maybe not that it was in the corporation's interest, but it was at least in their interest to retain her. In a futarchy, which is what he calls the idea, it would work a little different. So instead of it being the decision being made by a board of directors, instead you would have IBM stock split into two. So you would have fire CEO stock and retain CEO stock. And at the end of some period, call it 10 days, the corporation would look at the prices of both of those stocks, and if the market values IBM more, if the CEO is fired, then it fires the CEO. And if the market values IBM more, if it retains the CEO, then it retains the CEO. And so that's pretty much how futarchy works and how the MetaDAO works. In the MetaDAO's case, it's not IBM stock, it's the native Meta token. And yeah, but you may be asking, like, okay, that sounds fine in theory, but how does that actually work? Like, what does it mean to split the stock into two and have these stocks trade independently? And so let's get a little more into the details. So all actions of the MetaDAO, like with most or many DAOs at least, are initiated and effectuated through improvement proposals. So anyone can come through to the MetaDAO, specifically to the Autocrat program, which is an open source program stored on the Solana blockchain, and create a proposal. And that proposal contains basic stuff like a number. It contains a URL to a description. So in this case, it's a x.com link. Maybe they've published a Twitter thread. And then it also importantly contains a Solana virtual machine instruction that can be executed by Autocrat. In this case, they're transferring $150,000 in USDC, and maybe that's for like a grant to fund a new product under the MetaDAO. Perhaps it's to improve an existing product under the MetaDAO. Maybe it's to invest. Maybe the MetaDAO has become kind of like a VC, and this is to invest in exchange for tokens. And so it could be anything that can be representable as a Solana virtual machine instruction. And when a proposal is created, Autocrat makes sure that there are two markets specifically for that proposal: a conditional and pass market and a conditional and fail market. These are open book V2 markets, which is the intellectual predecessor to Serum. if you're not familiar. And both of those markets have TWAPs, so time-weighted average price oracles, that Autocrat can later fetch to figure out what the price is in that market. And so you may already start to see what that forking of stock means, like what it means for these stocks to trade independently. And so when a proposal, so then between a proposal was introduced and it's finished, you would have people trade in these markets, trade specifically USDC for Meta tokens in both the markets, or at least variants of USDC and Meta. And at the end of the period, anyone can, 10 days in slots, anyone can call finalize proposal on Autocrat, and then Autocrat checks both of the time-weighted average price oracles, and if the time-weighted average price of the pass market is greater than the time-weighted average price of the fail market, then it executes the slot on a virtual machine instruction. So in this case, it would transfer the 150,000 USDC. And after that, importantly, it reverts the relevant market and finalizes the relevant market. So if it passes the proposal, it finalizes the conditional and pass market. So all those trades are now deemed valid, and it reverts the conditional and fail market. So all of the trades that happened in the conditional and fail market, it's now like they never happened. So if I bought one Meta for 100 USDC in the conditional and fail market, that trade is now reversed. I get back my 100 USDC. The person who sold the Meta to me gets back their original Meta. And so it's also the case that when a proposal fails, the conditional and fail market is finalized and the conditional and pass market is reverted. And so what that allows you to do is to speculate on how much Meta would be worth if the proposal were to pass or to fail. Because if I say that it's going to be worth 100 USDC if it passes, and I buy it in the pass market with 100 USDC, maybe currently it's 95 USDC, then if the proposal fails, then I don't have to actually pay the 100 USDC. I only have to follow through on that trade if it actually does pass. And so then those who are technical among you may be wondering, how do you revert the markets though, right? Like these are theoretically all on a public blockchain. And so and you can't really revert a public blockchain's transactions after they've happened. So what do you do? And it's an interesting problem. And the way that we solve it is through this new primitive called conditional tokens. And so anyone can come in and put in underlying tokens. So in this case, either Meta or USDC to a conditional vault. And then the conditional vault will mint them two types of conditional tokens: conditional on pass tokens and conditional on fail tokens. And an equal amount of each compared to what they put in. So if I put in this case, the user is putting in 2 Meta, and so they would receive back 2 conditional and pass Meta and 2 conditional and fail Meta. And those work like they sound. So if the vault is finalized, then the conditional and pass Meta can be redeemed for the original Meta that was put in. And if it's reverted, then the conditional and fail Meta can be redeemed for the original Meta that's put in. And so because a proposal cannot be both passed and failed, the liabilities, it's never going to be, the vault is never going to have more liabilities than it has assets, but it will also always either pass or fail. And so if someone puts in tokens and they just hold the conditional tokens, then they're going to be able to redeem back their original tokens that they put in. And so, that's what happens at the end of the market period is the settlement authority, which is in this case the Meta-DAO, comes in and finalizes or reverts the vault, and then people can come in and redeem. And so in these markets here, what are actually traded are, maybe now you can see there's like two different, they're not different colors, but they've got different strokes. And so what is actually being traded in these markets is in the conditional on pass market, conditional on pass USDC is traded for conditional on pass Meta. And in the conditional on fail market, conditional on fail USDC is traded for conditional on fail Meta. And so if we put that all together and like look at a use case, so say that the price of Meta is currently $95. It's 95 USDC, and this proposal is, I think, good. I think it's gonna maybe it's to increase the fees of a product that's managed by the Meta-DAO, and I think that increasing the fees is a good idea. It's going to increase the free cash flows to the Meta-DAO, and so it's good for token holders. So what I would do is I would put in 100 USDC to the and also suppose that someone doesn't believe that's the case. They don't think that it's going to change it that much. And so I would put in 100 USDC into the conditional vault. I would receive back 100 conditional and pass USDC and 100 conditional and fail USDC. And so at this point, if I don't do anything, then I'm just going to be able to get back my original 100 USDC. Then what I would do is I would swap my conditional and pass USDC for one conditional and pass Meta in the conditional and pass market. So suppose that someone is willing to sell me at one conditional and pass Meta for that price. So they are not as bullish on as me on how this proposal will impact the Meta-DAO. And then I now own 100 conditional and fail USDC, right? Because I got those from the vault and I haven't done anything with them, and one conditional and pass Meta. So if the proposal passes, I can redeem my conditional and pass Meta for a real Meta, a canonical Meta. And if the proposal fails, I get back my 100 conditional on fail USDC. I get back my original 100 USDC. And what that allows me to do is, like, you already see in corporations decisions having an impact on the stock price. So like when Google, I don't know, decides to lay off its employees, which is so in this case good for shareholder value, then you see the stock price go up immediately after, but not before, because it's not finalized until it's finalized. In this case, you would allow investors to pull that demand forward or pull those trades forward and say, if Google fires these employees, then I will buy the stock, but if not, then I won't. And then you use those, it's kind of recursive, where you actually use the information from those markets to make the decision. And so that's pretty much how it works at a high level. If you want to check it out and just to engage with the project, you can find it at Meta-DAO project on Twitter, and there's also Discord links from there, and other ways to engage with the project. So yeah, thanks.